Hey Leo, so 2026 full year astrology forecast. Let's get into it. And I'm going to go month by month because we have a lot going on this year. Jupiter is going into your sign. Okay, but there's going to be an opposition to Pluto. And yes, let's get started, right? But before we get started, Leo, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. My dream is to grow and monetize my channel, and I want to make that something tangible this year. So please support my dreams. Please. Leo, this is truly from the heart. But, anyways, let's get started, Leo. And we're going to start with January. So, January 2026, Neptune is going to enter into Aries, which is your ninth house. And that's going to bring a lot of inspiration and spiritual visions. And you even got a taste of it in the year 2025, but it's definitely heightened. Things are heightened around your vision, around your higher learning, travel, and philosophy. You are being called to study something new, to be something new. To take on these long journeys, and you're just being encouraged to expand spiritually, expand your mind, expand your perspective, change your life. When Neptune in the ninth house, you definitely want to be cautious of like idealism without like grounding yourself, right? And you want to integrate these insights into practical belief systems, right? Because Neptune, it really shows us many different aspects of the world, and not just the physical world that we live in, but the world that we came from, what we're a part of, like the spiritual realm. There's so many realms to be in this life, and Neptune is going to teach you that, my friend. He and she, I really think that Neptune actually is a feminine energy, but she's gonna teach you, like, hey, there are so many ways to observe your spiritual journey, and you have to be open to new perspective. But because it's so freaking high up in the sky, where this is a high of your higher self, the experiences in life, and sometimes miracles are really hard to believe that other people think that it's a coincidence. Hey Leo, there is no such thing as coincidences, and you really have to understand that this year there is no such thing. And so Saturn in February 2026, Saturn is entering into Aries in your ninth house. And so that's when these dreams really can become a reality, right? This requires discipline, structure, action, because Saturn's in Aries. You need action. You need to act. You need confidence. You need drive. You need all of these things to really push yourself forward into this philosophical growth, into long distance travel. And you could be taken to these places that really do seem very magical, right? But you have to get up and get the ticket and get this, right? It's not, no one's just gonna come on a cloud and take you there. Though that can happen in your dreams, right? It can happen. You can see this happening before. You can have visions about this happening for you, Leo, right? And you, like, no matter what, these responsibilities are going to require you to have and think on a higher level, higher learning, higher observations, and all of these different things. So solar eclipse is going to be in Aquarius, and this is your natal seventh house. And so new beginnings and partnerships, I think that a solar eclipse can bring people are getting married during this time, right? They're bringing someone very significant into your life on committed one-on-one relationships, people that reflect and mirror back to you. There's important relational opportunities that are going to appear for you, Leo. Definitely pay attention to them. Definitely pay attention to them. So Saturn is going to conjunct Neptune in your ninth house in Aries at the 0 degree. Are you marrying someone from a different background? Are you marrying someone overseas? Do you go somewhere and marry someone that you never thought that you were going to marry, Leo? Honestly, these are questions that I need answer. So definitely comment that down below. As the year goes on, you can really meet somebody who is magnificent, that teaches you a lot of things that you find fascinating. You teach them things. There is a give and take in relationships. So this is this conjunction Saturn and Neptune, this is a real blending of dreams and structure, and you want to use this time to integrate these spiritual belief with practical, philosophical, or even educational goals, like becoming a teacher abroad, learning from a teacher abroad, or even taking a class where you're learning a different language. You're just doing something that you've never done before, and it is not an accident. It is not a coincidence. It's something that you are mature enough to get yourself into. Definitely maturity is going to come from Saturn being in the ninth house. So March 2026, the lunar eclipse in Virgo, and this is your natal second house. So you could be letting go of things. Eclipse season is a very, very freaking crazy time for us all, for the world. Things happen and we're like, what the hell just happened? Why am I going through this? Because it's eclipse season, Leo, and we cannot accept this time of the year. Astrologically, this really does mark a new time. It's a very significant time in everyone's life. And this lunar eclipse in your second house, there can be old things that you must let go of when it comes to financial obligations. You can be feeling as though or you can gain a new financial perspective and be able to change the way that you save and change the way that you relate to money, relate to yourself, your self-worth. But with lunar eclipses, they're really trying to get you to stop nitpicking on your financial opportunities and what you can make happen financially. Yes, you have to make cautious decisions when you're buying something or when you're doing things out of comfort. However, you can't keep yourself in a controlled box when it comes to buying something new, or it comes to exploring different resources. Like, you really have to explore what is out there to see what type of financial abundance you can bring into your life. So definitely be open. Don't spend a lot of money, but be open to other ways of making money, other ways of making yourself happy beyond money. This can be a personal fulfillment inside of yourself that you need to shift and change your trajectory, or however that word is said, on the way that you see money, like the perspective and the perception that you have of money. Is it something that is uplifting? Is it something that requires service, and even having to do some type of service in order to get some type of income? You can really be changing that, your ways to be stable in this life, right? This really does mark a new domestic chapter in some type of way. This new chapter, and I say domestic because the second house can have to do with our family skills and the things that we the mindset that we have gotten from our family, right? And sometimes those things need to change in order for us to open new avenues of abundance. So Saturn is going to also sextile Pluto in your seventh house, and Saturn in the ninth house. This is, of course, a very, we talk about Saturn, so it's definitely going to be strategic. It's definitely going to be life changing. We talk about Pluto is trying to destroy something, but it's a sextile, and that is a pretty good aspect, in my opinion, working together to really collaborate with each other and commit to something that's beneficial, from discipline, from restructuring, from long-term planning. And this could be planning, like I said, a wedding abroad, meeting somebody abroad. Seventh house has to do with business, it has to do with partnerships. It's just the house of mirroring yourself with other people. So you're taking things seriously, right? You're taking things seriously. Like, I'm serious about going to this place, and I'm serious about this person. And this is a time that you might get serious about someone else. You could be serious about your love life. You could be like, okay, I'm really in a search now. Let me apply for Love is Blind, or let me apply for something that's gonna get me out there. I'm really serious about making myself, I want to say making myself known. I mean, it could be making yourself known, right? But you want to put yourself out there, right? You want to be confident. You want to have action. You want to drive towards something, right? And you want support too. So there's support that's going to come, and mature support. Not, yeah, I'll be there for you, but they're not actually there for you. And I think you're going to really see that, Leo. And so April 2026, Uranus is going to enter into Gemini. And um in April, so Gemini is your 11th house, and um Uranus brings sudden changings and endings and shocks and things that we didn't even know was coming. But it can bring breakthroughs. There can be surprises in like friendships and networking with people, and you can expect radical shifts in social connections and these group activities, or even from your friends. As I said, you have to embrace innovation and break away from outdated group patterns and things that no longer work for you. You have to explore new ways to connect and collaborate with people. And Leo, it's like, I want to be around the smart people. Like, you're going to feel like, I want to be around the people that actually want to change the future, that want to be smart, that are serious about their future, that are serious about making things happen, even that align to you. You truly want to be around those types of people, not the people who just gossip and talk about absolutely nothing, Leo. So in May 2026, Pluto is going to retrograde in Aquarius. And this is your natal seventh house, right? Even having Pluto in your seventh house, there is a powerful person that will grace his way into your life in the for over these 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, even since 2024. But there's somebody significant that will come into your life and really transform it. Even things around intimacy and introspection, the way that you even see relationships will really change. The power dynamics in relationships, making sure you lift someone up as much as they lift you up. These are deep relational power dynamics, and hidden issues can arise during this time in order for you to really resolve these types of things. Around intimacy, as I said, what are you sharing with the next person? These are people that can really teach you something and really get you to look at life in a whole new different way. They're exposing the truth to you. These are people that are challenging you to be better and see your own shortcomings for you to make them better, not judging you for them, but ultimately getting you to see them so that you can rise again. You can keep dying and rising again. I think in this type of unionship, or whoever you meet, it could be a friend, it can be something that you're associated with, it can be a business partner, it can be, honestly, just like I said, the house of other people. You have to be open to transforming yourself, Leo. So June 2026, Uranus is going to square the North Node. And these are, I think that, Uranus wants growth, right? And this square is a little bit uncomfortable types of growth. So you really have to look at, what are you willing to do to get to the next step towards your destiny? And, you have to embrace, Leo, these unexpected changes while staying true to yourself. And it's kind of easier said than done. Like, I'm saying it, but it really is easier said than done because of the square. It's like tension. Like, is this really my destiny? Is this really what I want to do? This is so sudden. How is this coming to me that fast? But you have to use your intuition. Know that, sometimes things are meant to take you off your path, but also things are meant to like send you on alert to where it's like, okay, you said you want to do this, so are you going to do this? And I think that this square is gonna really just test you on being your truest self in some type of way. Like it is, it's like staying true to yourself. Do you really have integrity to get these things done? Or is it just something that you were saying that you had, So that's a little test in June. in Also in June, we have the Mercury retrograde in Cancer. So Cancer is your 12th house, right? And you are reflecting on these subconscious patterns. And this is a house of the unseen and spiritual insights, even private and personal matters. You have to avoid taking major commitments regarding the hidden and even behind the scene issues. When Mercury's in retrograde, we're not seeing things as clearly as we want to see them. And Mercury so much chatter. So much chatter can be in the mind, these emotions coming up from the past and really weighing heavily down on you, Leo, and getting you to doubt yourself and getting you to, not have the healthiest, what do you call it, like habits and things of that nature. You can't let yourself drown in this, Leo. You must really take this time to integrate those things. Like, don't fall back into bad habits. You have to be very, how do I say this? Be very aware and very in tune with what's happening behind the scenes. However, Mercury is in retrograde, is so much chatter in the mind, but you're gonna get through it, because there's Mercury retrogrades every single year. But because it's in your 12th house, this year, be very mindful of, is this my voice, or is this the voice of just old things trying to cloud up my mind. So in July, there is going to be, well, Jupiter is going into your sign, Leo. Oh my God. Okay, so luck is coming. Luck is on your side, Leo. Luck is on your side. And this is expanding your confidence. I mean, damn, like, how confident can you get? At the second half of the year, Leo, you are expanding. There's opportunities for personal growth. There's opportunities for visibility, and honestly, like, even manifesting your goals, they are increasing. Like, the ability to do that is increasing for you. Your charisma is increasing. I would suggest that you take advantage of these opportunities to shine, to take bold steps, to grow your personal presence. And this can bring even big ego shifts for you. But I think that you learn more about yourself and what you can be egotistic about and what not, right? There's so much to learn about yourself when Jupiter is in your sign in the first house. Neptune is also going to go retrograde. And Neptune going retrograde in Aries in your natal ninth house. I think that, yeah, you're reassessing what higher learning means for you, or you're reassessing what your spiritual philosophy to life is. There's a lot to think about when Neptune is in the ninth house, especially for over a decade. There's a lot of clarity that needs to emerge, that is regarding your vision, your belief system, where you want to go in this world, and, who you want to be associated with in this world. Jupiter is going to be opposite Pluto. Jupiter is in your first house and is going to oppose Pluto at some point, which is going to be in your seventh house. So there's definitely tension between expanding your identity. Do they want you to grow? Are you growing with them? Have you outgrown them? And this self-expression versus, partnership, and even these relational dynamics. We have obligations, Leo. You're going to feel like you have obligations to your partnerships, but you also have obligations to yourself. Which one is more important? There's just a push and pull. Partnerships and collaborations are really going to test your boundaries, and power dynamics, and even big ego clashes can happen. There can be hidden manipulations that actually come to the surface, that have to do with you or other people, or they're trying to get their way, you are trying to get your way. Really transform your relationships and your personal growth by integrating self-confidence with empathy. Having empathy for the next person is very important, especially for the person that you're with. Be willing to listen and have conscious compromising with the next person. Even relationship integrity, and this is not always about being in a partnership. This can be someone that you are just entangled with and that you have to have empathy for. But it is the house of marriage, but it can be the house of friendship as well. Business partners, the thing that you're trying to get involved in, have empathy for them, that it may not move as rapidly fast for them as it will for you. So the North Node that's entering into your seventh house, oh my God, Leo, you are definitely going to be taking places, and other people are going to show you the way. These are karmic focuses on relationships, and people will get married. Like, Leos are gonna find love this year. and even 2027. But there is this one-on-one relationship growth. I really think that destiny is going to test commitment, and even negotiation is going to arise from the North Node moving into Aries. But you're trying to go somewhere with these relationships, or they're trying to take you somewhere. Even with Jupiter being in your first house, like there's just big things that are happening for you, Leo, and it's kind of hard to express without seeing your birth chart. But even with these transits and ingresses and aspects and I'm talking about, I know that big things are happening for you, and that you have to stay as grounded in your self-confidence as possible, and not saying that you run over other people, not saying, but you have to feel like you deserve it. You deserve everything that is happening for you, Leo. And the people that come into your life and they're trying to show you a different way, be open to listening to their perspective, be opening to empathizing with the way that they see the world and all that good stuff. But expect some type of grand gesture too that's, going to be headed towards your way, Leo. A proposal. It can even be a divorce, but it is for the best, Leo. So yeah, moving on to August 2026. But even during this divorce, or some type of ending of some sort, you still have yourself and you still have the confidence to move forward. And it's just like, that the next thing is going to be something that's more aligned with your truer self. So yeah, moving on to August, lunar eclipse in Aquarius. Yeah, so this is where we talk about letting things go. We talk about these one-on-one commitments. I think that there's going to be clarity that's offered to you. Closure and hidden dynamics can really emerge during this eclipse time. Like I said, letting go becomes a theme of this. Embracing change. Even welcoming new things into your life. But with the lunar eclipse, it's very emotional, but it's very must happen. Like it must happen. And eclipse season is very emotional and highly crazy for us all, and so many things can happen. But this is truly where your life changes. July, August, and September, even 6 months after, up to a year, honestly, your life will drastically change. So there's going to be a solar eclipse in Virgo. And Leo, this is your second house. So there's new beginnings in your self-worth. I mean, the solar eclipse has to do with you, right? There's a sun being activated. So you can be like, maybe you have to pay for something, right? Maybe you have to pay for that divorce. But you have the money to do so. It's like because something is being lit up and given to you, maybe you get a settlement in some type of way. Maybe your self-love is multiplied because you have let this thing go. There's really great things that can be bring to you in the solar eclipse, in Virgo. It's almost like your story can help someone else. You can help yourself have more confidence, have more clarity upon the self. You can take yourself on better financial, better financial decisions for yourself, more precise in your decisions by letting go of the nitpicking, trying to control every reaction and every transaction and things of that nature. I mean, Leo, you are and can be a big spender. And actually, what you said the second house is in Virgo, like they're making the right decisions. However, with Jupiter in your sign now, it's like I can go and do whatever I want to do and not just doing whatever, but your confidence is so heightened that you start making choices and decisions for yourself that you think is right, that you want to move forward and taking these steps in order for your life to get better, and not really focusing on what, if my life gets better, other people's lives should get better as well. And that's what you're kind of thinking. So this is definitely a perfect time to initiate, personal expression and like artistic ventures. Definitely be mindful and open to expanding yourself. I mean, you will be expanded very rapidly with Jupiter in your sign, but even with the solar eclipse activation, they're in with the old, out with the new is the best way to describe that. And so September, you are still integrating the lessons of the Jupiter opposition, the eclipses, the North Node shift, all of those things, just happen. So you're trying to balance out your personal confidence with ambitions, with relationships, with your personal development, your knowledge. What is really happening in my life? Where am I going? Where do I want to go? There's a lot of questions coming up in September for you. So this is the month of extreme reflection, Leo. October 2026, Venus is going to retrograde in Scorpio. And Venus going into retrograde, I always think that is a pretty big thing, because Venus is the planet of like partnerships, right? And the fourth house has to do with like your family. It has to do with your childhood development. It has to do with your parents and like your security, your home. And Venus going retrograde means like you want to change things that are going on with your home. You want to change the way you're communicating with other people. You want to change the way that you have agreed upon things, even past agreements and emotional contract that you've been involved in. These things are going to resurface in order for you to have some type of resolution about it. What are you agreeing to? Even you wanting to move or change your house, definitely, Mercury's going to be in retrograde as well. In October, I would not sign anything in order, to move, but there can be misunderstandings with people in your home and misunderstandings with, your mother and all of these different things. Definitely check on the health of your mother. Try to build a better relationship with your mother. And there could be arguments with, and even, motherly figures. The fourth house can have to do with spouses as well, and children. So, you're trying to be as calm and as understanding as possible. With the retrograde, there's some type of frustration that comes. And so in November, when the retrogrades end, there's clarity within, the intimacy with other people and how you relate to them. And, the relationships that you have with other people and how they affect your emotional body and how they affect the way that you can make money. What is she? Venus is the ruler of your third house as well, and the Mercury retrograde is gonna touch that as well. And so it's really trying to get you to talk with a newfound sense of self that's helping you promote better growth in yourself and other people, having conversations about growth that want to bring people together and bring people into, like the conversation. You want to shine your light on the next person and tell them what you know, tell them what's helpful. And that's kind of how you have to speak to parental figures and things of that nature, because they think that they know more than us, right? Because they've been in this realm longer. But new generations, new people, new experiences, we know what we know, but definitely be respectful, be as respectful as possible, but don't be afraid to go and talk about the deep things either. Like, they should be open to talking about the darkness of life, but also the good things in life, and also the misunderstandings of relationships, and what not relationships not to get in, and what, things of that nature. It's like, let's talk about the deep stuff too. But don't force it, and don't be disrespectful either, Leo. So, Uranus is going to trine Pluto, and Uranus is in Gemini in your natal 11th house, and is trining Pluto in your 7th house. So, I always say expect the unexpected. We can't really expect what Uranus is trying to bring to us, but with its trining Pluto, which is a harmonious aspect of 120 degree, there is transformation that's happening within friendships, within, social network with people, the way that you are expressing yourself, Leo. There's just certain breakthroughs that happen that is trying to enhance your personal joy, that's trying to enhance your your vision. I would say the vision that you have for relationship, the vision that you have with other people is trying to push you forward, of course, but also trying to get you to expand your mind. Maybe you want more freedom, right? Maybe you want something. You could want more freedom, right? You can want more freedom to be alone, to be by yourself, to think for yourself. Maybe to spend time with friends will be great for this. Actually, Leo, they can bring you much more clarity, right? So December 2026, Saturn and Neptune are going to end their retrograde motion. And because Aries is your natal ninth house, this this is the time to really get mature. Like, this is the time to really mature your belief system. And I always say, of course, there's like thousands of different religions, right? They're like, oh, believe me, but ultimately they're all saying the same thing. So choose whichever spiritually feels aligned with you, Leo. Okay, like there's a lot of lessons around higher learning that you will integrate, and even like stabilizing your spiritual philosophy. You have to understand that these long-term avenues that you must get down, those are the ones that are going to bear fruit. So make those plans with a conscious mind. Spiritual clarity and vision and your belief system, as I said, they are really important, especially Neptune and Saturn up there. And it's in Aries, so it's literally demanding your attention, demanding you to have rational ideas about this and take this to the next level. Take what you believe to the next level, Leo. Go where you need to go, travel where you need to go. Definitely do it with a conscious mind and be mature. If you can't afford it, don't go. However, Neptune being there, it's like, I can't, I kind of can. I had a vision that I was there, and then Saturn is like, okay, well, then put in the work in order to get there. There's a lot of personal confidence that's coming for you, expanding for you, visibility, the identity versus the relational dynamics. There's so many things in this year happening for you. And I think that ultimately the people that you meet are going to teach you so much about yourself, new romances, children, self-expression, Saturn, Neptune, they're requiring these reassessments, but also integration and this disciplined growth in belief systems. Your friends can have you, breaking through and evolving in, activities and evolving within yourself and evolving your vision. You really have to deeply integrate the lessons that you're learning this year to promote your self growth, because you're going to grow very rapidly fast. Even with Jupiter in the first house, it can bring you really joyous food. It can make you good at sports. It can make you want to, really exercise, play sports, and I say play sports, but really like be active and things of that nature, right? But Leo, you really have to understand that this year is offering you many, many different things, and you have to be in tune with yourself, the things that you want confidently, but you do have to consider other people, Leo. So that is all that I have, Leo. I hope that was helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and please help me monetize my channel by sharing and commenting and liking my video. And I beg of you, Leo. I beg of you. It's like, no, I'm not begging, but I really want to make my dreams come true. And as a Leo sun, I think that you definitely feel me. And sometimes we have to ask for the things that we want. And I'm learning that. And that is okay. So I will see you in the next video, Leo. Have a good year, 2026. Good luck. Bye.